one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. And you clearly see the title of the broadcast. Yes, listen, look, the Texas Senate has decided for their situation in Texas to ban the, excuse me, to ban the purchase of snack foods with the EBT SNAP program situation. And this is creating all kinds of controversy, especially, of course, amongst women, because we also know that, men don't get don't get EBT or SNAP out. So, yeah, we're going to go here now. We're going to dive off into this, and we're going to see what's going on. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
That to limit what Texans who receive food stamps can buy with them is one step closer to becoming law.
KPRC2's Joy Addison joining us now live from the newsroom with much more. Joy.
Well, Keith and Danny, nearly 52 million people rely on SNAP benefits nationwide, and just over 600,000 of them live right here in Harris County. Here in Texas, the Senate has just passed a bill that stops people who receive SNAP benefits from using them to buy certain junk foods. Senate Bill 379 passed with an overwhelming 22-8 vote, and now it heads to the House. The move is aimed at making sure that SNAP benefit recipients aren't purchasing extra processed products with no nutritional value, like chips, soda, energy drinks, cookies, and candy. According to USDA statistics cited during the hearing, 20% of SNAP benefits are spent on foods targeting this legislation, like candy, desserts, and chips. But despite the overwhelming yes, a representative from the American Heart Association expressed opposition towards the bill, saying the restrictions would make the issue of hunger in Texas worse and leave people who receive SNAP benefits in rural areas or food deserts without enough food options. SB 379 now heads to the Texas House before it is put before the governor. If passed, the bill would take effect in September 2025.
All right, Joy, and we know that this bill is making its way through the Texas House and the Senate, but could we see something similar nationwide, that is?
You're right, Danny. The advancement of this particular bill happened at the state level, but there are several bills that are moving through Congress right now to make these limitations legal at the federal level, like the No Fizz Act of 2025 and the Nutritious Snacks Act of 2025 as well. We'll be following those bills for our viewers to see what happens, and we'll keep them updated right here on KPRC2 News and clicktohouston.com. Reporting in the newsroom, Joy Addison, KPRC.
All right, so there we go. I definitely agree with that. Listen, look, like I said before, of course, we also know that men do not get any of these types of, amenities from this type of program. It's all women, basically. And yes, I think taking that type of food or, eating products off the menu for purchase, it's going to do some good. Yes, at that point, yeah, whatever money you get, as a lady that has children, things like that, yeah, buy that with your cash. You're gonna have to buy that with cash now. That's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That also is going to limit the amount of junk food that is going into our children en masse and things like that, to where they can actually properly learn better in school. Without all that crap going into their body every day. Now, I'm not saying, because I eat chips and I eat stuff like that too and things like that, but I buy that with my own money that I work hard for. So, yeah, it just is what it is at this point. I definitely agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we're going to keep going because there's more to this factor. And we have, I have a few women that are going to say what they need to say about this situation and things like that, because yeah, a lot of women are pissed off. A lot of women are pissed off at things like that. I got a couple of pissed off ones. And also, too, I have a woman that actually agrees with this situation. So let's go here now. Let's check this out.
So the state of Texas is banning the purchase of chips, soda, junk food, basically, with EBT. Mind you, the price for single ingredients for one meal will run you anywhere from $60 to $80. $60 is being generous. So I don't see, one, why that was any of their business, and two, why would they do such a thing when inflation is at an all-time high right now? And what about those people who don't have access to a home that can, cook and stuff like that? Like, it just don't make sense to me, but okay, I guess we just gotta let them do what they do.
Don't be shocked.
So the state of
So my thought process with this young lady right here is the fact that you know, I get it. She's trying to add in, you know, people with no access to certain things, stuff like that. Okay, fine, cool. I get it. But the mass majority of women have access to stoves, ovens, and all this type of stuff. Yes, you women are going to have to start back cooking again.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Yes, that's it. That's just it. And I know in today's society, a lot of women don't really know how to cook and things like that. Yeah, you're going to have to get some cookbooks. You know, call up what's her name that hung out with Snoop Dogg, you know, Martha Stewart and shit. You have to start cooking again. And I definitely agree with this. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be way more healthy for the children in the future. And see, that's the problem with today's society. A lot of us, definitely the women, period, they don't think about the future of their children. They're not worried about their grandchildren and their grandchildren, children, and you know, and that's the issue. That's been the issue for a long time now. The reason why we are unhealthy over here, we need all these mass gyms and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, which we didn't have in previous histories and stuff like that, because people were eating home cooked meals that were made with actual love, and the women took the time to actually put their heart and souls in the food, and it kept their families healthy. And you know, it just is what it is, man. And it's time out for it. It's time out for it, and this is where we at, and women are going to have to start back cooking again. So, yeah, listen, look, we're going to go here now, and we're going to check and see what this young lady had to say as well.
The USDA's potential ban on buying junk food at SNAP is a horrible idea. Bottom line, there's no nuance. There's no further discussion about it. It is a horrible idea. One, because you're criminalizing poor people and taking their decision-making away.
Criminalizing poor people. How is this criminal? See, this is the problem when we have young people out here that don't actually have good thought processes and shit. This is maddening. How is it criminal? See, the problem is that, yeah, you want to be able to do whatever you want to do with the taxpayers' money and shit like that. But no, though, that time is gone. It's over with now. It's a reconstruction of our taxpayers' money going on in these systems. And it's just going to go down like this. No, you can no longer buy a bunch of trash to feed these babies out here so they could go to school and not be able to have proper nutrition and learn and do things that's healthy for this country. Well, the rest of the world is feeding their children healthy stuff. You look at what China and all these other places do. They're feeding their children healthy things. That's the reason why they go to school and they can learn and focus and all this other type of stuff. We've been feeding our children too much junk food over here and things like that. Listen, look, yeah, you know, what the young lady said in the first video that I showed you guys, you know, well, they may not have amenities of this, and then how high, you know, actual nutrition, actual food that has good nutrition is. That's the whole point. Yeah, a lot of these chicks get so much money off these SNAP benefits. A lot of these chicks ain't getting these $100 off SNAP. Some of these chicks getting, you know what I'm saying, 5, 6, you know what I'm saying, 700, 1,000 or more dollars off SNAP benefits. You can't buy healthy food with that, and you can't budget. See, that's the problem. It's no more budgeting out here.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
You can't budget that. And make sure you get healthy food. And also, y'all too, also get money on the side. I know y'all chicks are. So don't try to play me. Don't try to fucking play me. Y'all getting real money on the side too.
Two, a lot of people who are receiving SNAP benefits do not have access to a grocery store. Where they do most of their grocery shopping is usually a corner store or some small market of that nature. So taking away the little bit of substance they do have, because the people at the top don't deem it appropriate and don't think they should use their benefits in that way, is wrong. Point blank.
Don't have access to grocery store. What part of the country? This is America. What is she talking about? What part of the country don't have access to a grocery store? Even if it's a mom and pop grocery store somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the country, It's a grocery store there. What the fuck is she
So
talking
what
about?
the French toast is there to think about?
Man, see, this is the thought process that I be talking about right here. People be trying to play folks. Most of these people don't have access to a grocery store. What town that you, even if a small town, it's a grocery store there somewhere. What is she talking about? Talking out the side of her neck. People are tired of y'all talking out the side of your neck when we know better out here.
Period. Yeah, that's just it. And before people holler, well, I don't agree with you because you don't know what you're talking about, da da da. Not only have I been on the receiving end of SNAP and WIC benefits, but also I did my Master's of Public Health in Nutrition and Dietetics. I love community nutrition. I love being in the community, working with people on finding ways to make their dollar stretch longer so they can eat healthier. And working in these communities and being with these people and also being a part of that community, people aren't just buying junk food because that's all they want. That is literally most times all they have access to. So at the end of the day, something is better than nothing. Having some substance is better than starving. And that's just that. Everyone always hollers on TikTok, there's nuance. Criminalizing poor people and not allowing them to make food decisions while also not giving them access to more money or grocery stores so that can even have healthier choices, there's no nuance there. There's not.
Criminalizing poor. Why does she keep using criminalizing? That's not criminalized. It's not a crime to buy junk food. What the hell is she talking about? Yeah, you just gonna have to buy junk food with whatever money you make off your job or your side hustles, ladies, things like that. You know, if you do hair or other little thing, whatever, you just gonna have to buy the junk food with your actual cash. That's it. If you want the junk food, you just gonna have to buy it with your actual cash. This is crazy right here. Criminalizing poor people. Jesus Christ, man. This is sickening, the thought process out here. And this is what's going on. This is crazy. All right, so we've got to get to this young lady right here. She actually agrees with the situation. So let's see what she has to say.
I also want to talk about this because I see a lot of the moms are upset that the government is trying to take snacks and junk food off of food stamps. I get food stamps, and I'm here to say I'm an advocate for that. That is actually beneficial for some of our children. That is the reason why some of our children are having these slow developmental issues and etc. because we feed them the wrong things. We're feeding them poisons, basically. Like, I don't get it. And then a lot of y'all complaining, well, you
Right. I definitely agree with that. And if you go back into my catalog here on YouTube, I did a broadcast on JFK Jr. and what he said was in these foods, and it's on my page. And he was talking about red dye number 30 something, and it's crazy. You got to go back and look at it. I'm telling you though. But seriously, it is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff going into the junk foods and things like that. And what he showed on the broadcast that I did, what he showed, you know what I'm saying, what JFK Jr. showed, man, the dye and stuff like that comes from actual fucking roll tar. You got to go back on my page and look at it. I'm telling you, man, it comes from roll tar. And they transform that into like dye to put on food, to color Cheetos and all that type of shit. It's crazy out here.
Lower the prices on healthy foods, etc., etc. I don't know about y'all, but fruits and vegetables, when I go, they're actually not that expensive. And I actually started shopping at farmers markets. Yeah, go to your local farmers market. It's okay, y'all. Like, y'all are.
A lot of women don't know nothing about a damn farmer's market.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
That's the problem. I guarantee you there are places in every city, town, stuff like that, that do sell fresh foods and fresh vegetables. But a lot of women don't know nothing about that. We haven't been teaching, women how to shop properly for decades now. That's the reason why a lot of our sisters can't cook, women, period. And half of them don't want to cook. They feel like that's an overwhelming amount of unnecessary labor and stuff like that. But see, that's the problem. It's unnecessary labor. How? You don't want to feed yourself good food. You don't want to cook you don't want to be able to cook. First of all, cooking is one of the number one survival tools on this damn planet. Everybody needs to know how to cook something. Boil water, something. There's something. You need to know these things. These are basic survival skills that we're losing in society. And, you know, it's a huge problem.
We're sitting here complaining about every little thing, but that right there is actually beneficial for all kids, even adults,
Right.
even us adults.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Some of y'all excuses for being upset about it is not valid to me. Like, the only excuse I feel like is really valid is it being expensive. But like I was saying, farmers markets, grow your own stuff. In my last video, as you can see, I'm learning.
Oh, hell. Did she just say grow your own? Hold on.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Now, we know good and damn well in the 21st century, these women don't even have plants in their homes no more. I grew up with old school women. So, yeah, we had plants in the house. Still got plants to this day. At least one or two at my house, even outside. Like, because of man, grow your own food. Even if a chick lives in an apartment complex or something, she don't have land to grow food. You can grow small plants in your house. You can grow certain vegetables and stuff like that in your house. But yes, though, you have to be attentive to that. You have to cultivate those plants just like you're supposed to cultivate your children in order to teach them to be better human beings and grow to be good people, just like you would cultivate a plant to grow and be prosperous. But, women are not built that way no more. Talking about growing something. I agree with this young lady on what she said, though, about growing some stuff. But, man, these new age women ain't finna grow shit out here. I guarantee you they not. Not no plants. Hell no. You look at the way they treat their children. Shit, man, stop it. They damn sure ain't finna grow no plants.
Learning how to raise chickens. Like, it's not that hard to nurture your family. This is actually beneficial for us, y'all.
And she told the truth. So, yeah, it is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely agree with that situation. And yes, to be honest with you, y'all, everybody out there, you need to prepare for that situation. Definitely to the ladies, because the ladies get most of the SNAP and EBT situation. Y'all need to prepare for that. Y'all need to start cooking again. You need to learn how to cook. This is how it's going down. You're going to only be able to buy fresh fruits and vegetables, good meats and stuff like that. You want to buy your junk food? How about you use that hair and nail money to buy the junk food?
So what the French toast is there to think about?
But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.